Hi, I'm Doug Warner, Principal Trombone of the Chattanooga Symphony. I want to invite you to join us for a Lincoln Portrait this Thursday, October 10th at 7:30 p.m. in the Tivoli Theatre. Without a doubt, my favorite piece on the program would be the Lincoln Portrait, partly because COPLAND gave the brass lots of great music to play on that, but more importantly, I think it's because I have a personal connection, maybe not with that piece per se, but with the whole concept of Lincoln and his speeches. I grew up about 20 miles from Gettysburg in Pennsylvania, and I have memories of playing on the battlefield when I was a little kid, and just then as I got older, hiking around there, and I've seen the place from which he gave the Gettysburg Address, and with the Lincoln Portrait at the very end, the last bit of narration is from the Gettysburg Address. It's very, very moving to me as an American, as much as a musician. Actually, the first time that I did perform the Lincoln Portrait, there's a couple places in there that are marked solo trombone, and I was prepared for those. Unfortunately, I was rather young and naive, and I practiced my part, but I didn't get a score, and I didn't listen to a recording, I'm embarrassed to say. And so we got to the first rehearsal, and I found out the hard way that there are more solo passages than are marked in the part. I was playing along, and the rest of the trombones dropped out, and I thought they were lost. And then I realized, no, it's a solo, and if I had done my homework, I would have known. The most challenging spot would be several sections in the John Adams Chairman dances. The music is very repetitive, but there are these rhythmic patterns that are almost the same each time they come back, but not quite. And you have to really be on your toes to not, as we musicians say, step in the cracks. It's very difficult to play at exactly the right time with the right accents, and that'll be a challenge. Never played that piece before, so I'm cautiously optimistic before we start rehearsals. Well, interestingly, I play on 4 of the 5 pieces, and 3 of those pieces I've actually never performed before. The COPLAND is the only one that I've performed. I have not performed the BARBER First Essay or the BARBER Overture to the School for Scandal, nor the Chairman Dances. And so I got recordings of all the pieces. I even checked out scores from the library for those that I could find, and have just studied how my part fits in. So I've learned the actual solo part, but it's more important, especially on pieces like the John Adams, that I know how my part fits in with the other parts around me. So the score study is the best way to go. In the Lincoln Portrait, COPLAND uses a couple folk songs that he then modifies and sort of mutates in many different ways. The next phrase, so COPLAND does, and if you listen for that repeatedly, you'll hear it. It creates one of the main themes of the piece. And the other thing I would encourage you to listen for as audience members would be the John Adams, the Chairman Dances. It's minimalist music, and minimalist music in a nutshell is very repetitive, but there are small changes that occur over time, and if you listen for those subtle changes, then it helps the piece to take shape and for you to understand it as a whole. So I like to listen for that, for those small changes, and then honestly I imagine a scene from the opera. It's actually from his opera Nixon in China, so you can hear certain Asian elements to the music, at least as he understood them. We're doing great things to inspire, engage, and enrich the community. So join us this Thursday for a Lincoln Portrait.